CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Bobby Capel. You have probably heard a lot about the Atlanta Beltline, but how much do you really know about it? Well, by the end of this half hour, your answer should be a lot, assuming we do our job here. All right. My guest this morning at the table, Paul Morris, President and CEO of the Atlanta Beltline Incorporated, and Rob Bronner, Executive Director of the Atlanta Beltline Partnership. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Rob, let's start here. What is the Beltline for people who don't know?
Yeah, the Atlanta Beltline is a system of rails and trails and parks and affordable housing connecting this city in absolutely unprecedented ways. It's taken 45 neighborhoods around downtown and midtown and in a 22-mile loop, it is connecting them and giving people new ways to get around the city, to get to work, to get to the store, to connect with their neighbors.
And we're seeing some pictures here of the Beltline project right now. Tell me about the background of this project, when it was hatched, and where you guys are now in the phases of completion.
Right. So it started out as a graduate thesis of a student guy named Ryan Gravel at Georgia Tech in 1999. It became an official city initiative in 2005 when City Council adopted what they call the redevelopment plan that laid out kind of a 25-year effort to acquire, clean up, and reposition these old railroad corridors for transit, trails, parks, streetscape improvements, and the introduction of new housing and jobs. And it's about 10 years into its program, and there's evidence on the ground of how it's getting to work.
How far have we come in those 10 years?
It depends on which of the topics you care about most.
Okay.
Like a lot of folks care about where are we with the trails and the parks, which are the most tangible elements they see. And we're probably a little bit behind schedule. We were hit pretty hard by the impacts of the recession here in Atlanta, and that did not help. It certainly slowed things down. We're probably maybe a third of the way along in those two elements in terms of acquisition and access. We've got a lot under construction right now to try to help accelerate some of those experiences, and recent decisions on November 8th helped it even more.
We'll get into that big time later because that will be a discussion about the future of the Beltline project. What do we have set up as of right now? Are there specific trails that can be used? Ponce City Market's a part of this as well. Tell me about that.
Sure, and also let Paul speak to the construction that's underway, but with a lot of support obviously from the City of Atlanta, from philanthropic funders, we've opened a number of trails and parks. So you've got the East Side Trail, which has Ponce City Market, you've got historic Fourth Ward Park, Stanton Park on the south side, Enoda Park where there's land assemblage underway, and you start to see people who are coming out and using it. We have a lot of programming that we do through the Atlanta Beltline Partnership, through fitness classes and tours and ways that people can get out and see the Beltline. So there's a lot of excitement going on. You've got art on the Atlanta Beltline that's out on the corridor now, and so you're already seeing it really activate the city, and then as Paul can share, we've got a lot more on the way.
Yeah, what's been great about the Beltline is because of its reach, not only hitting 45 neighborhoods, but really connecting all those neighborhoods within the center city. We can be working all around the Beltline at various points on all kinds of things. And so whether it's the parks or trails that are open, not only on the east side, but on the southwest side, there's both connector trails and mainline segments that are open. There's many people don't know the Tanyard Creek Trail, which is up in the Collier Hills, Collier Heights neighborhood, is a part of the Beltline. That's a segment that's been open for several years. It's very unique and different from the East Side Trail. And its character and identity connects you to green spaces, tennis courts at Bitsy Grant, to the golf course at Bobby Jones. And eventually what's really exciting about this is people will be able to walk and bike all around the city without not having to compete with cars. And that's really what's been one of the most exciting and unexpected elements for a lot of folks.
And that will be great for motorists and bikers. Each side would be appreciative of
absolutely.
That. Let's drill down on the Ponce City Market area and the trail there. That has been a gem for this city already. I mean, it's fairly new, obviously. I just saw it rated in some big magazine, I can't remember which one, that it's one of the hottest places in the country to check out for restaurants.
Right.
Maybe you have the actual information on
that.
Yeah,
I can share a little bit.
So, tell me about that,
sure.
and how that came together, and have you guys been surprised with how much success that area has seen?
I think it came together in part as part of a long-range plan. So a lot of people see what's happening and think it's somewhat spontaneous. But there actually was a lot of calculated work done up front to master plan the entire 22-mile corridor or loop and the neighborhoods that are adjacent to it. The first segment that everyone's most familiar with of the Beltline is the East Side Trail, and really almost in the center of that 2-mile segment of Beltline is the old State Sears and Roebuck building, which everyone now knows as PCM or Ponce City Market.
There it is right there.
We love our acronyms.
Yes.
And what's extraordinary about that is it wouldn't have been possible had it not been for the stormwater management work that was done at the adjacent historic Fourth Ward Park, which folks are getting to see on the screen. That's actually a stormwater
yoga class right there.
So that's a stormwater detention facility that also is a great venue for people to come to and enjoy. And it was able to be done less expensively than the old-fashioned kind of traditional gray infrastructure approach. That opened up the opportunity for the building to be renovated and really transformed into housing, jobs, restaurants, and retail. And it has become unexpectedly kind of the magnet, the heartbeat of the East Side Beltline activity. It's attracted lots of acclaim, and it's become one of the most exciting restaurant food halls in North America, for sure.
Rob, what role does the partnership play in the Beltline and the future of it?
Yeah, I think the Atlanta Beltline Partnership is really the organization where people can come to learn about the Atlanta Beltline, and we do that through programs and tours and educational materials. They can come to support the Atlanta Beltline. We're incredibly grateful to the philanthropic community and the corporate community for the many millions of dollars that they've put in through foundations like the Cox Foundation and Woodruff and Blank into helping to build the Atlanta Beltline parks and trails.
Yeah, talk about some of those people that have been involved, because it hasn't just been government funded. It has also been a lot of private folks, charities that have stepped up to the plate. Absolutely,
and I think it's important, and Paul mentioned the kind of grassroots support that started the momentum for the Beltline coming out of Georgia Tech and the thesis, but it was really Atlanta's private and corporate community that helped get that vision to reality, right? Because there are lots of ideas that people talk about but never do. And working under the leadership of Ray Weeks, the Atlanta Beltline Partnership in the early days, along with wonderful partners like the Path Foundation, the Trust for Public Land, who really made some key early investments and took some risks to get land under control, to help advance the trails, with support of Atlanta's foundation community, right, again, through the Woodruffs, the Blanks, the Coxes, and many others, help get this project started, right? And working with then Mayor Franklin in the city of Atlanta, got Atlanta Beltline Inc. up and running, and the partnership's role has evolved, right, along with the evolution of the project. And so now, as the Beltline's being built, while we're still going to always play that role of working with the philanthropic and private sector to bring their resources to the table, it's also about connecting people to the project as it opens, right? So that's a lot of the programming that we do. You've seen pictures of some of the races and fitness programs and such. We do raise a lot of private dollars to help support art on the Atlanta Beltline. I think most people are familiar with the Lantern Parade and Chantel Ritter and the crew for the Grateful Gluttons, which has really become a kind of a hallmark of vibrancy and magic in the fall. And so that programming is incredibly important as well. And then we continue to find partners who we can help bring into the fold to work alongside Atlanta Beltline Inc. in the city to really help deliver on some of those key quality of life measures for the Beltline and leveraging them in areas of housing and economic development and workforce development.
Well, I'll say this, I hope that Georgia Tech student got rich off of this, because it's turning out to be quite the project. Another part of the Atlanta Beltline project is providing affordable housing. We'll look at that when we come back on Public Affairs on Peach.